No, I'm not doing no exercise today. Oh, I'm not. Hello, everybody. Long time. Let's see. Just 2 weeks. Something like that. So I got some music on. Let me turn it down just a little bit. I don't have to talk so loud. So, what's up with y'all out there? I'm just on here to talk about some things. It's been a long time, it seems like, but not really. Yeah. So, hey, lady girl. You finally caught me live. How you doing? Yeah, so, yeah, I'm not doing no yoga today. Yoga next Monday. Yeah. Yeah, yoga next Monday, 10. And my Hitchum and Ditchum series I was doing, I kind of suspended that because it's really cold. Yeah. Except for last week. Last week here in Kansas City, Missouri, we had temperatures for like, I think it was 4 days. A Thursday we hit like 50. Friday it was like 53, 56. Saturday it got to 62, y'all. And then Sunday it was like 50ish, about 50. I think it was like 58 or something. And then the temperature started going down throughout the day. And then it snowed Monday. Yeah, that's kind of stuff we get here. So, but I do appreciate, the spring weather in the middle of winter, because winter is hard for me, y'all. But anyway, yeah, so it's been a while, since I've been on here just talking about things, because, when I come on here, I want to give you guys some good content. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to be on here just to be on here. Either I'm doing some yoga, I'm a little cooking videos. I haven't did a cooking video in a while, but some information that'll help you all out. So I was like, well, what can I do? Where I feel comfortable coming on whenever, because with my schedule and stuff, it's like all over the place. I do hair, and then I watch my grandkids every so often. Yeah, but yeah. So I was like, well, I'm gonna just come on here and just share some information with you all. Some of the things that I do when I'm not on here. Yeah, I've been into, I talked about politics a little bit. I've been, and that's my grandson. I got a grandson today. But, yeah, politics is like one of the things that I was really into. I kind of backed away from. So I kind of want to talk about that. Some things that's just been going on in the U.S. Right? Because I'm from the U.S., so we're going to talk about the U.S. Politics. What else been going on? Some like social things that's been going on out there. The Monique situation. Want to touch up on that. And just give you guys some information that you could use for whatever, because we all here trying to figure this stuff out, this world, this life, our purpose, and all that. And I got this YouTube channel because people like, you should get a YouTube channel, you should get a YouTube channel, because when I talk to people, we talk about some good things, and I always try to give people something some information where they could, learn from or apply to their life, or, that kind of thing. I'm like a mother to everyone, or a big sister, just, to people that I know and all that kind of stuff. So, and it just comes natural. But they always like, you should, do this, do that, do that. So I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead. I finally did it. But trying to find my little niche. So, whatever you want to call it, it's kind of hard because I really don't like a lot of attention. Yeah. But anyway, see, I'll be rambling sometimes. So, but I wrote down some things that I do want to touch up on, and we're gonna go over it a little bit at a time. Yeah. I'm turning the music down a little bit more, maybe. And I usually play other types of music, the relaxing stuff. But it's supposed to be free copyright music, but I don't know, got a copyright thing. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I'm just play whatever. And Prince, like one of my favorite artists. So we're going to listen to Prince while we talk. And please, y'all, join in. Give me your thoughts on, what we're talking about. Let's interact, because everyone's trying to learn something. Everyone's looking for something, and maybe your view or your opinion resonates with someone else. Okay. Lady Girl says, what's your thoughts on the Monique situation? Well, with Monique, I like that she wants to boycott, because I think Black people, that's something, a power that we have that we don't use now. But for her situation, this is for her individual gain. You know what I'm saying? She's upset because, Netflix offered her $500,000 to do a series, which, that is kind of an insult, because I think she's worth more than that myself. But she can't call on Black people to help her get money for herself. Is she going to help? But if she gets more money, is she going to put some of that money into the Black community, to help us out and all this stuff? She wants us to help her, but is she going to help us? It's easy for people to want to do things when it's just for them. But when it's for the greater cause of our people, because there's a lot of issues that she could, talk about boycotting, getting Black people to fight for something that's, for everyone, for Black people in the whole. But she's just thinking about herself now. But I do understand where she's coming from. I can sympathize, but I'm not that sympathetic to her because, she's making money, and, someone of a lesser, I wouldn't say less, but less experience, that would be, something good for them. But, she wants us to help her. Is she going to put some of that money towards, Black community? So those are my thoughts on the whole situation, and maybe she could learn how to, not learn, but, stand up for things that affect all of us as a whole. And then maybe more of us will feel like, standing up with her. Yeah. But I did want to talk about that because, there's a lot of stars and celebrities that, they ask us to help them when they need help fighting against, things for them. And all this time, there's a lot of things they could fight for our people as a whole, and they don't, So, we got to learn to work together, but, we can't be all about just the individual self, at some point of the game, you do have to worry about yourself. You know what I'm saying? But you still got to think about the Black community as a whole. And that's something I want to talk about too, because I love my Black people, right? And I love all people, but I'm a Black person. You know what I'm saying? So um, my concerns and all those kind of things are with Black people, right? So another thing that I wanted to talk about, right? So, you know, us as Black people, you know, we need to figure this stuff out, and a lot of us have been trying to figure it out. You know, especially you know, the religion aspect of life, social aspect, all of it. You know, trying to figure out what our purpose is, and you know, what we're here for, what we could do, and things. And you know, if we want to change things for Black people, we got to learn to work together. And I know people talk about that all the time, and it's easy to say that. And I've been thinking about this for years. I'm 49, about to be, you know, when my birthday comes in April, I'll be 50. So this is something that's been, you know, a concern of mine for a long time. And I've been trying to figure out, well, what can I do? What can I do? And I tried doing different things. You know, I work in the community, volunteer, doing just different things, you know, giving up my time to try to help do something. I'm like, okay, it seems like nothing's working. And, you know, some people like, we need a Black leader, we need this and that. And my point of view, we don't need a leader. We all need to lead in our areas of our life, our family, and things of that nature. So, okay, I'm reading the comment out. Very true. Monique's agenda is not all of our agenda. I really don't know if boycotting is the answer. Yeah, for her, that's something she wants us to do for her. But yeah, you know, she should, on a business aspect, she needs to, you know, negotiate. That's what negotiations is for within business. Because I'm not sure that her situation is just because she's Black. I'm pretty sure that might be part of it, and part of it might be that she's a woman. But part of it is business too. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, I get you, lady girl. I understand where you're coming from. So, yeah. My grandson asked me if I'm talking to myself. No, I'm not talking to myself, Javion.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to lady girl and whoever else is going to watch this video later.
You talk to that girl that's singing?
No, that's a boy that's singing. But okay, you done eating your food and drinking?
I don't water.
Okay, one moment, yeah. All right, so I want you to play with your Legos until I finish, okay?
Then you put the phone on the charger? Huh?
Yeah, I put it on the
Can I
charger.
put this back to my room?
Yes. All right, yeah, I gotta put this on the charger for him. And he's gonna play Legos until I finish. Yeah, that's one more reason why I don't come on here all the time and stuff, because, you know, I don't want them on camera all the time. Thank you. Yeah. So, I got this on. I was warm. I mean, I was kind of chilly. But now that I'm on camera and stuff, I'm sweating a little bit. But anyway, so, yeah. So, things, I guess this video is about things that concern Black folks, right? So, yeah, Monique's situation, she needed to take that up with her manager, whoever, you know, does her business, and they need to negotiate. Okay, so yeah, things that concern Black people. So for me, got sidetracked. I do that sometimes when I'm talking. But okay, so we're talking about things that concern Black folks. So some of the things that we need to do as Black folks so that we can get out this situation. I've been trying to figure it out. Okay, I'm back on track. Been trying to figure this out for years, what I could do. And, I tried to do whatever I could. But it seems like, things are not working because, Black folks are not working together. And, that's kind of by design, right? Kind of by design. And yeah, it's by design because, this year, a few months here or there, we might be off a little bit, but it's coming up on 400 years of slavery ending, right? And, the things that they did during slavery kind of help. The things that they did during slavery helped to put us in this position that we're in now, as far as, us not knowing what to do, the brainwashing of some, the, programming, it's so much with the education system. They did so much to our people, so we have a lot that we have had to fight back against to get out of our situation. And so some things that, I have learned and research and just been, just learning and taking in, trying to figure this out. I think that, there's some things that we could do to get ourselves out. And first we have to start with ourselves, right? And to start with ourselves, we have to there's branches of it, right? So first we have to fix our social environment within ourselves, like our community, our family. And when it gets to the individual, I'm especially talking about family. So because our families have been separated and broke up, and throughout slavery, we kind of don't hold family as sacred and close as we used to. It's not really like a community where we help each other out and things as like some other ethnic people. Let's say like a lot of people stereotype Mexicans, being that they all live in the house together, a bunch of families live together. Well, that's what we should be doing, you know, because we need family to help other family, right? There's a lot of ways that family can help family, to help not only just the social aspects, as teaching the children or each other, different skills that we need throughout the life that we learn at different stages of our lives. So, if you grew up and there's all kind of people around in your family, you have aunties, your aunts, your uncles, grandparents, you have older cousins, you know what I'm saying? Young kids can learn a different rate, learn through, their older relatives' experience, because the older relatives should be passing that down to the next generation, right? Teaching. Each one teach one, right? Hey, Sa, TV 101. Yeah, so that's one aspect where, we can start small and get that dealt with, because a lot of us is just about self, and it shouldn't be just about self, because if you got kids and stuff, you should want to help them in every situation you can. Just because they're turning 18, you just don't want to kick them out the house. You know what I'm saying? Before they leave, you should make sure they have all their life skills to make it out there. And you want them to be able to leave, when they leave you, they should be stable where they could make it on their own. You know what I'm saying? Save up money, have money saved up so they can put down a down payment on a house or something. Families need to start doing that more and more. Help babysitting when someone else is working and stuff. And yeah, I'm rambling, but I do that sometimes. But anyway. Do you think the Black family unit was closer in times of slavery? Well, before slavery, I think that we were a lot closer. In slavery, because of slavery, we're not. Because what slavery did was separate us, and it broke up our family units, And, if you don't have a strong family unit, it's hard for you to survive on your own because you have to do everything on your own. You know what I'm saying? And with all the obstacles that we have in this life, especially being a Black person, you need that family support there to help you when you stumble. Because when you're young and stuff, if you don't have that family there to help guide you, to teach you what to do and what not to do, how are you going to know what to do? Who's going to help catch you when you fall or guide you? You know what I'm saying? We need that. And that's something that we're lacking. So before we can get things right, as far as Black people in this nation, we got to get things right within ourselves, right? Our families, we got to become tighter and start helping each other and teaching each other. Because, if we're growing up generation after generation and everyone is just thinking about themselves, how are we going to build a Black nation? So first, it starts with the family, right? So we got to do that first, right? And then some other things that we got to do too to get out of this situation. And this is the time to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, so it's been 400 years coming out of slavery. We done went through all kind of things, politically, socially, all kind of things. And, with religion also, because we learned, we were like indoctrinated into a certain type of Christianity, right? And then, let me not go there yet, because Christian religion is a whole nother beast within itself. Do you think it's ever a time to cut a family member off? Well, I used to think so, but lately, I've really been contemplating things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, we all have our shortcomings. And sometimes, some people, you try to do this for them, you try to do that, at a certain point, after you try to help them so much, you can't help people who don't want to help themselves. Let me say that. But if they want help and they're looking for help, then you got to help guide them on where to go to get that help. You know what I'm saying? So now, if it's a family member who is doing something just wrong, completely wrong and immoral and all that stuff, yeah, you got to cut that shit off. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't, as Black people, we can't have Black family members or Black people, period, doing shit that's immoral. We have to let them know that shit ain't right, and make them be better. Everyone has to be accountable for their actions. Right. So, yeah, there's a time where you do have to cut people off, especially they doing immoral shit. Yes, because you want to protect your family. So you're supposed to protect it. All right, good question, Sal. Yeah. So, yeah, but but we still have to, certain things. A lot of Black people think that someone in the family is doing something that they don't agree with. Just because you don't agree with something that someone else is doing doesn't make that person wrong. You know what I'm saying? There's more than one way to do a whole bunch of different things, right? So, you know, if you're seeing someone's doing something and you don't agree with them, instead of just criticizing, come up with a solution on a different way that they can do it. So, you know, make suggestions to them, give them different options, you know, especially when they're young, so they can learn how to, you know, think, problem solve. That starts young. You got to teach kids how to problem solve. So you give them, you know, different solutions that they can follow in different paths and stuff. But yeah, so. Okay. So another thing that we need to do for us to get back to where Black people are being empowered, where we have, you know, Black power or Black empowerment. Okay, so we touched on the social, you know, which is community and family, you know, each one teach one, that kind of thing. So that's the social. And okay, another aspect that we have to get together and get right is economics.
Yeah, it was.
But how, okay, we're gonna do another question. How would you suggest a man who's been away from his child for years get back in his child's life? Well, I would suggest you reach out. That's all you can do. You can reach out to the kid. You know what I'm saying? Reach out to the child. You know, first you probably have to reach out through the parent, the other parent, you know, and then reach out to the child. That's all you can do. You know, we all can only do our best. You know what I'm saying? Always do your best. If you're doing your best, then, you know, that's all you can do. You can't do no better than your best. So just do your best. Reach out to them, you know, and, you know, we have to talk and communicate more too, right? So explain, you know, reach out to your child and talk to them. Tell them, you know, what the issue was. You might not think that that child can understand, but they will understand on their level. You know, explain it to them. You know, tell them. We got to be truthful and honest with our young ones, you know, so that they can learn how to be that way too. You know, you got to lead by example. So, you know, and it's hard. It's probably hard for someone that's been gone and, you know, you really don't know what to do. But the only way to do is just, only thing to do is just to do something. When you don't know what to do, you just act, right? If you act, then more times than not, action takes place if you do something. Okay, and Saul TV said, I ask because the Black man needs to get his children under control. This will help our community so much. That and it's not just the Black man's responsibility, it's the Black woman's responsibility too. I think it's all of our responsibility as mothers, as sisters, brothers, aunties, uncles, grandparents, you know what I'm saying? It's all of our responsibility, you know? And yeah, one other aspect that goes along with what you're talking about, Saul. You got, your name is Saul Nigger TV 101. The word nigger, I really don't like. Nigga, it's okay sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has their opinion about that word. It don't bother me too much. But, you know, at times, you know, how people is. But anyway, I'm going to just call you Saul TV, okay? But, yeah, one other aspect that you, when you bring up that question is one aspects that we need to get together too, Black people, is morals, right? And within morals lies respect, right? We haven't, since the family unit has been separated and stuff and all that kind of stuff, we really haven't been teaching respect, morals, and morals are like guidelines for behavior for kids, and they need to learn that young. Hold on, y'all. Yes, Javion. Okay, I'll be back, y'all. I gotta get some tissue for my grandson on the toilet. Let me turn the music up a little bit. Y'all can listen to my music. I'm back. All right, so, okay, we're talking about morals, right? So, because the breakdown of the family unit has affected things too, is like I said, the moral aspect. Kids have been learning manners, right? My generation, when I was growing up, you respected your elders. There was manners. Like me, depends on where I'm at. Sometimes I cuss, but when some people around, I don't cuss at all. You know what I'm saying? That's called respect and manners. Okay, lady girl 22 says, could you please address the grandparents raising grandchildren epidemic? The parents of these children seem to be clueless or just flat out don't care. Okay, lady girl. Yeah, so there's an epidemic of grandparents raising grandkids. Yeah, and I think that comes from the grandparents didn't teach their children some valuable things, right? And like that generation, that would be like my generation now, and a little bit above, right? That are grandparents now, because I'm a grandmother, but some generations before me also. So when we were growing up, uh, you know, there was a lot of things that we didn't have that we felt when we got older and we were in the workforce for our children, that we worked hard and we made sure that they had certain things. Hold on, what, JBI? Hold on now, excuse me. What are we doing? Say what? All right, back again. All right, so the grandparents raising grandkids. So my generation and a little bit above, when we were raising kids, and I'm gonna put myself in that category too, because I just don't like to point the finger, right? But So, there's a lot of things they didn't have. So, they gave their kids, we gave our kids a lot of things that we didn't get, right? And, and the kids probably didn't deserve it. So I think they grew up feeling entitled. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, with my generation, everything we had to work for. You know what I'm saying? We just didn't receive things. We had to work for it. But the generation after that, and um, I've seen this a lot where they got so much, because everyone wanted their kids to have things they didn't have, and that created a problem as far as those parents being able, those parents having responsibility issues, because I even see it in my children, and I made my kids have responsibilities. I raised my children like I grew up, except I changed things a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Some things I thought I needed, I kind of add in there. But yeah, I think that has something to do with why a lot of grandparents are raising grandkids now, and their children are not being responsible or understanding. If you decide to have a child, then it's your responsibility to take care of that child. No matter what you have to do, you're going to do it like, their parents did for them. And then, that drug epidemic, I think that had a lot to do, that had somewhat to do with it also. Um, so there's not just one thing that caused stuff for us to happen. There's all kinds of things that, affected us to cause things to be the way that they are now. Okay. That's all said. I'm sorry for the name, sis, but listen. Oh, you good. You do you. Okay. Okay, another question. What's your opinion on sisters and brothers having so much? I'm saying these days it's like we don't love each other like back in the 60s and 70s. Yeah. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Because in the era I grew up in the 70s. I was born in the late 60s, 68. So I grew up in the 70s, and always loved my people and black men. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the friction is. That's something that I can't answer. I think it's well, I can't answer that, and I know somewhat what some of the issue is. It's the conditioning part of the programming, right? Like I said, there's so many things during this 400 years of well, starting with slavery, and then the 400 years after slavery ended, the conditions, the programming that we been skeptical to, that has a lot to do with it. But we have to work on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Once we deal with our issues, then we could see how that's affecting us as a people. You know what I'm saying? Then you could, heal whatever issue it is that's going on. But you have to know that you have those issues. Okay. Once you realize that you have those issues, then you have to be honest with yourself about those issues and work on those issues to get over that. Like, you have to be honest. Like, brothers and sisters have to be like, okay, well, I have an issue. Why do I have this issue feeling love towards my own black people? You have to be honest with yourself and deal with that issue and figure out what it is. We have to heal from that. And the only way to heal from all those things that's been done to us, is to heal. And we have to heal ourselves and each other and help, each other. What did your kids that were grown think about when you went with Nature Boy? Well, my kids, they're adults, so some of them were like, my younger ones didn't want me to go because, I've always been around for my children. So, it's kind of bittersweet. They didn't want me to go because, they would have to be more responsible, right? And my other kids, they like, mama's grown, she's doing her. They were excited for me. They were going to miss me while I was gone. But from what my understanding was and what I explained to them, they were happy for me. They know that I love nature, and I've been growing plants forever and try to, had little gardens here and there as they were growing up and stuff. So, yeah. And then one of my children, my oldest son, he travels all the time. And that's what encouraged me to go ahead and make that step and go to Honduras, is because my oldest son, he lived in France for a year. And he lived in Argentina for like 8 months, 9 months, and he's done been to a lot of different places. And he's not in the military. That's what people always ask me, in the military. No, he just likes to travel and he speaks the languages. So, hey, Kelvin, humble be to you. Okay, throw every television out of your household and we will mend ourselves. I agree, Kelvin. Like for me, with my children and things, their TV time was limited. And, I had 6 children, so I limited. And one way I limited it, especially when they were young, I would give everyone a day, right? And then when they got a little bit older, I was like, okay, because in 98 is when I got my first computer, right? 98. So, I had scheduled time for my kids. Someone's doing this time, computer time this time, and I had 2 computers, right? So, and, computer time and stuff. And then I kind of just weeded out the TV. Yeah. So, and yeah, I haven't had a TV in like 3 years. And by the time I had just 2 kids left in the house, they didn't even really watch TV. Everything they did was on the computer. Do you think as parents we are harder on our firstborn? That's a good question, lady girl. Melanation. TM, hey, Melanation. Yeah, so lady girl brings up a good thing. As parents, we are harder on our oldest. You know what I'm saying? Like my 2 oldest children, yeah, I was way strict on them. You know what I'm saying? But, I was learning as I went along. So about time, my older 2 kids, got to like the age of 6, I had learned a whole bunch. So my younger kids, I changed as the years went on. I changed my parenting style, as I learned, because, it's a learning thing. Okay, so would you say that the way you raise them influenced them? Yes, the way you raise your children influence them. And what your children do, children are influenced. So you want to be the biggest influencer in their life, or have certain things influence them, right? And that saying that old folks used to say, "An idle mind is a devil's workshop." That's true. But my children, I try to keep them busy every part of the day. You know what I'm saying? Only time I can guarantee that they were doing something is when I worked, because I I worked full-time jobs. So, you know, during that time, I wasn't for sure that they were doing, you know, the things they needed to do. But I put things in place for them to be able to have different options besides, you know, being out in the streets doing stuff they ain't supposed to. Because at a certain time in my children's life, I didn't have a babysitter. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't afford, especially when I was a single mom, because I've been married twice. But at certain points, I was single. So, you know, I had to take care of my kids by myself. And my sister, one of my sisters used to babysit for me. And then things happened with her and she couldn't babysit for me no more. So I couldn't afford childcare, right? So, and the state wouldn't help me because, you know, they only help people who don't want to help themselves, right? So at a certain point in time, you know, my kids had to babysit themselves. Like my oldest two, I had them in charge, which my oldest at the time, I believe she was like between the ages of 13 and 14, maybe even 12. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, they had, I always had a membership for them. They had membership at the Y. So after they left school, you know, because I try to get daytime jobs, but sometimes, you know, you can't do that. So at certain parts, after they left school, you know, they would go to the Y, the YMCA, and they would spend a lot of time there, you know. But that gave them other influence and stuff. But I try to make sure that they always had something to do. During the summertime, you know, they were in different types of programs, like whatever they were interested in. You know, I tried to make sure that they were doing things, you know, sports, whatever activity they were interested in. I try to make sure that, you know. Oh, well, thank you. Humble to me said thanks. She hit some key points. Thanks. I hope so, because, you know, I just want to share so that we can, you know, do something different and, you know, and make some changes happen, because everyone wants to know, you know, well, what can we do to change things? So let me go over these five. There's 5 things, you know, and these 5 things I didn't come up with by myself. You know what I'm saying? But throughout my life, it seems that these 5 things are what we as Black people need to take care of. And if we do that, we can change our situation as a people, right? And where I got this information from is this guy, and he's on YouTube, you know. His name is Louis J. Armstrong. Google him, Louis J. Armstrong, right? So this is where I kind of got the 5 things from. But he kind of put them out there, but it's things that I had already did in my life, you know, that I have been working on in my life. And then when I ran across him and he had these things, I was like, that's it. Let me let people know that's it, right? So, and those 5 things are, okay, I already talked about social a little bit, right? So social, politics, right? Morals, economics, health, and diet, right? And the way that he has it broken down, man, you guys have to go to his YouTube. The way he breaks it down is you're going to be like, oh my God, how did I miss this, right? Because this guy is really good. And the way that he puts it together, right, is through sacred geometry. But he uses the Bible. He breaks down the Bible with sacred geometry, right? And astrology and, you know, esoteric things, which is something I never, you know, all these things I always, astrology and religion, sacred geometry, Those kind of things is things that I always research separately, but I never put them together, right? And I ran across this dude, and he put them all together, right? And you're like, wow. So you guys got to go check him out. Man, he's good. And he's a speaker by profession, a motivational speaker by profession. And then, you know, so he really puts it out there and breaks it down. But yeah, like I said, these 5 things, if we get together and get right as a people, we can change some stuff, right? So I already talked about the social, and I touched a little bit on morals. Politics. So politics is something that, you know, Black people, we have like a love-hate relationship with, you know, especially because the way that we've been done, you know. And for me, I always wanted to vote, and I have voted. The last time when Trump and Hillary, I didn't vote. I wasn't here to vote. If I was here, I had already decided that I wasn't going to vote because I didn't like neither one of them, right? But because so many of my people died and sacrificed for the right to vote, that's the reason why I voted. I always voted and registered to vote, and, you know, try to get other people to register to vote and all that stuff. So, but lately, you know, I got turned off. I got turned off a lot of things, you know, because I've been doing this, trying to figure this shit out. And, you know, when you learn so much about all these different things and you see how the world really is, it gets discouraging sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And that's one reason, too, I was ready to go. When I ran into Nature Boy, I was like, oh, yeah, I need to get the hell out of here for a while, because it was just so much crazy stuff. You know, and I was like, I need a break, because I really had never had a break, right? Been like, had never had a break. Always been taking care of other people since the age of 14, right? So, so yeah, but politics, right? We don't like it, but it's something that we have to do. Because, you know, even if we have all these other things, the other things together, our social, our health, and our diet, our economics, and our morals together, we have to have that. We're missing the politics. We have to be in there, right? We have to be in there so that we can get the things that we need. No one else is going to give us that. We have to do that for ourselves. So, you know, we got to get in there. We got to vote. And besides voting, if you like, damn, I ain't got nobody to vote for, none of these people represent me. Okay, well, then you run. You don't need no experience. Have the mugs that's in there now don't have no experience, right? Do a little research. You can learn enough to get in there, right? We got to do that. We got to take what we want. We can't wait for them to give it to us. So we need to take control of politics also, right? All right. And then economics, you know, that's like the feet, you know, the base, our root. We have to have that also. So, you know, we got to learn economics. We got to teach our children at a young age. Yeah, we got to teach about all these different things. And I want you guys to go to Louis J. Armstrong. Go to his page. Listen to some of the things that he's speaking about. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, everyone thinks, or not every, I'm not going to say everyone thinks, and I don't know what everyone thinks, but most people, some people think that, you know, we need a leader, or what can I do? There's nothing I can do. Yeah, there is. No matter what there's something that you can do. Okay. We all have a skill. You know, everyone has a different skill. Somebody, you're good at something. Everyone's good at something, even if you think it might be small. But what you're good at, you can teach that to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? We have to share that information, share that knowledge, share that skill. Each one teach one. That's some real shit. We got to do that. And it starts with our youth. We got to start teaching them, you know, and we teach by example. And then, you know, physically, you know, teach the skill, right? And yeah. So any more questions? You guys got anything to say? Let's see, because I wrote things down because, you know, I'll be getting sidetracked a lot of times when I'll be talking. And a lot of times I don't talk much, except, you know, when I got something to say, you know, I could talk a lot. I don't like to say too much unless it's, you know, meaningful, purposeful. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, excuse me. Okay, just make sure I touched on a lot of things that I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Okay. So there's another thing that I want to bring up because I was talking about teaching our children. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And this is something real important. You know, a lot of us can't teach our own children or think that you can't teach your child, but you can. And if you're sending your child to a public school, before they go to kindergarten, they should know how to spell their name. And I'm bringing up this issue because I ran into a thing, you know, an issue with a little boy who's 4, about to be 5, and he can't spell his name. I think that's an issue. And that's his mother's fault, right? Our children have to be able to spell their name. You know what I'm saying? Before, and, you know their ABCs, know all kinds of stuff before they go to kindergarten. You can't send them to school, starting school behind, right? And if you feel that you can't teach your child, there's a website. And this is good for anyone who wants to teach their children themselves. The website is called Khan Academy with the K. Let's see. Khan Academy, I believe it is. Okay, I have it pulled up. Yeah, Khan Academy. KHAN Academy. Google it. But they have free things, free educational things that you could use to teach your children if you don't have no clue of where to start. And like, I'm trying to get this screen back up here, y'all. So, yeah, there we go. In the chat. So, like, if you don't know where to begin, like for a child, age 2, 3, they should be writing. You can start teaching them, right? You can start teaching them, you know, guide them, especially writing. You can guide them. If you don't have computer, well, hopefully you got a computer because you're watching me now, right, to get this information. But, you know, just get a piece of paper, you know, write their name, do the little dashes, you know what I'm saying? Create your own stuff for your child to teach your children. You don't have to have the best of anything to learn stuff, right? We got to start small and build big. But yeah, I think, yeah, I talked about a lot of the things that I've had on here. Well, I talked about other things on here. We didn't go into detail about health and diet, but we all know why we need to be healthy, right? We need that health and diet, right? We got to get that. So you got to take care of you. Yeah, because if you don't take care of you, how you going to take care of somebody else? Right? And you can't do that if you're not healthy. We got to stop eating processed food. We got to go to real food. And real food is things that grow off the ground. I consider that real food, right? Because it comes from the earth. Most things that come from the earth are good for us, right? There's exceptions, always exceptions. But, you know, we got to start there. And you don't have to be a vegetarian or a vegan, but you need to minimize your meat. Cut back. You know, start small, right? And if you still eat pork, stop eating pork. And, you know, I understand. I love me some bacon. I don't eat that shit, though, but I love it. And it smells delicious. But I haven't ate no bacon. It's been a long time now. It's been over a year. Every once in a while, like every 6 months or so, or every half 7 or so months, you know, I'll go somewhere, somebody cooking some bacon, I break off a little piece. But leave it alone. Cut back on that red meat. It's bad for your digestive system. It's hard for your body to get rid of that stuff, right? You know, and you got to care about yourself. If you love yourself, you're going to take care of yourself, you know? So if you can't put down that Pepsi, if you can't put down that fake burger, you don't love yourself. You know, cut back. Start small. You know what I'm saying? Try to do whatever you can do. Just do your best. Okay? All right, y'all. And I think I'm going to get on here. I don't know how to get off of here. I don't know how long I've been on here. But please go check out Louis J. Armstrong, because I think he has some excellent ideas and some excellent points. And the points that I talked about, he could help y'all. He could break them down better. And he's going to hit y'all with the sacred geometry. You know, I know all y'all conscious people love that sacred geometry, right? Yeah. And the esoteric, yeah, he breaks it all down with the Bible, which is like, you know, something I never heard, because, you know, that religion thing is something that Black people have been trying to figure out for so long, including me. I grew up in the Christian, you know, Christian household. You know, as I got older, I was like, something ain't right with this shit. Let me, you know. So, you know, I studied, my second husband was a Muslim. I studied Jehovah's Witnesses, other kind of religions. Are you religious? I'm not religious. My morals, you might say, are. You know what I'm saying? But I don't claim a religion. I should put it that way. Yeah. And, you know, I used to say I'm spiritual. But you know what I'm saying? That has become a religion too. You know what I'm saying? And do you believe in God? I believe in, I know that there's a higher power, there's a power higher than myself that created me and where I'm at. Right? And I don't like to say God, because, you know, I like to be specific, because there's so many different gods. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say, you know, the words that you use are important, people. I mean, some of y'all know this, you know, but words that we use are important, because words are spells. A lot of people understand this. So the words you use are important. So I don't like to say God, you know, because if you go look in history, throughout history, there is all kind of different gods. So you got to be specific on when you saying things, you know, so you know who you giving your energy to. Well, like the Bible, when I started off research, you know, it led me to astrology, you know, sacred geometry. You know, everything's connected. It's all connected. And like I said, that brother Louis J. Armstrong, he can break it all down. Y'all, yes. Do I have a guru? I don't have a guru. I just seek knowledge myself, and I try to apply it. And I don't have a guru. I don't want no one telling me, you know, how I should do things. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's different. Everyone don't do things the same, and you shouldn't, because we're different. We're all different beings, right? Yeah. What is your opinion on reincarnation? It's interesting. I don't know if it's true or not. So, I don't know. I think it's interesting subject. Yeah, if I don't know something, I don't know it. So I can't say it's true or not because I don't know. Courtney says, Kelvin says she studied the Bible from an astral theology point of view, and it will open up to you. Yeah, it does. It's like, man, I just been, one point in my life, I try to control every single aspect. Once in my young 20s, once I found out that I'm in control of everything and I can control everything, because once upon a time, I was like, man, I thought that, I had no control over my life. And I was like, why is all this bad shit always happening to me? And then I woke up one day and I was like, oh, I control the things that happen to me. So once I found out that I control things that happen to me, I kind of went a little bit overboard, which some people tend to do. I'm an Aries. Perfection is the thing I had to work around. So I try to control every single thing, but you can't. That's a stressful life, trying to control every single aspect. You just have to follow your instinct and trust in yourself that you're going to choose the right path. Because if you try to control every single thing, you might, you're going to end up a little bit off your path. You know what I'm saying? Things are going to be, if you're on your path, things are going to be presented to you. Things are going to be presented to you, right? That you're supposed to be on, it's going to come to you. So you don't have to control everything. You just got to put in a little effort, and the rest will come. To me, Zen is what suits me. Yeah, and you do what suits you. What feels good to you, to your spirit, right? Because everyone's different and everyone needs different things, right? Because once upon a time when I first realized that, I felt that religion, was used to control people. And, I try to get people away from it, you know what I'm saying? And I would bash people that was religious, that was like into religion, which was wrong because, some people need that at that time, right? It don't mean they're going to stay there, but some people need certain things, some people need to be guided a certain way, or they need, they need that. You might not need it, but they need that. That's all they have right now. And this is, so. Your Aries as well. Right. Me too. Especially after, feeling like I had no control and then realizing I had control. I went to the extreme with it, and it was stressful, but you got to learn that balance, right? So everything is balance. Everything in our life is balance. And once you get balance within everything that you do, things will come together a lot better for you, right? So, all right. It was good speaking with y'all. Yeah. Hey, Javion, can you turn that down? One there. My grandson over here watching. I got this extra phone. Well, a phone I used to have, I got turned off, but I got it on Wi-Fi. I let the kids play on it. And he likes watching people play video games like it's a movie. Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, hopefully this this topic will continue. I hope I gave you guys some things to talk about. Spread the information, share, so we can get this taken care of. We've been trying to figure out what to do for a long time, and we're coming up on the 400-year anniversary, the 400 years of slavery ending. I think that's significant. You know what I'm saying? And this is the time for us to get it together, right? Especially with this president we have now. Come on, y'all. So we got to get out there, vote. We got to, run for positions, whether you think you're, you're qualified or not. Do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Do things for your community. Or your family. Start small, work your way up. You know what I'm saying? Let's get our economic situation together. If your credit's bad, work on how to fix that. Because that's important. We need that. And, and work on your health and your diet. And, you don't have to just go crazy with it. Start small, any little thing, right? All right, y'all. That's it. Peace. Till next time. Y'all take care.